Okay, guys. Finally found a phone mount that actually works, so I can sit here and it be a little bit more square on. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about in this video. I just fancied recording. Whilst I've basically just been on a walk. I've parked up, just chilling. Um, so we're just gonna take this as it comes. Normally, I definitely have a plan for a video or a topic or something or other, but I really don't this time. And I think that's okay. I don't think everything has to be planned or so rigid. I think some people, including myself, just occasionally like a video just to listen to. So, that's what this is. It's just a ramble. Don't know where it's going to go. I've been trying to walk a lot further and try and do that each day, like we spoke about in my last update. And that's been going well. Definitely feeling a lot better in myself. A lot better in myself, and it's still too bright. A lot better in myself, and it's been helping definitely. Uh, I would say more in the evenings when it gets late and you think, oh, you start to overthink, or I do, and because I've been quite tired because I've been doing something a bit physical, I think that's really helped. Sometimes, man, it's very, very difficult for me to motivate myself, or not even motivate, like just have the discipline to go and do my stupid walk, because a lot of the time I think, oh, it's not doing anything. What's the point? You just self doubt, and you don't want to drag yourself there, and you're on your own, and it's boring. But I recently was speaking to some people, and I don't know about you, but everyone's a therapist these days, and everyone has their own way of dealing with stuff and giving advice, and it's nice, and we're a lot more open as a society. But I think for me, like I see it for how it is. And so I really struggle with any type of therapy that tries to delude me. So a lot of the time, maybe you'll understand this as a bloke, you might feel on your own, and then people will tell you, oh, don't feel on your own. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got people you can talk to. You might say, oh, you've got your Twitch chat, oh, you've got your YouTube views, oh, you've got, whatever. You can always chat to me, but sometimes you feel on your own. And when people start telling me, "Oh, don't feel like you're on your own," you're not, and they try to delude you, that never works with me, because I just think, well, that is how I feel. But the thing that helped me recently is I was talking to a bloke, and he very simply just said, "Well, if you feel like you are on your own, or you feel like you are, like having ups and downs and whatever, that is what's going on. I'm not going to tell you it's not, but if you are on your own or whatever, you may as well do something you enjoy. Like, it's not like you going to do that thing you enjoy is the reason you're alone, if that makes sense. So today, I drove here, got myself a nice Americano coffee, got myself some food, sat on a bench, listened to some football podcast that I enjoy, and then I went on a walk. And he's right, I suppose. Like, I enjoyed that. And that is not the reason you feel like you're on your own, and it's also not stopping you meeting people, I suppose. Like, so if you do feel like you're on your own or whatever, or you do feel a bit low, because I don't really feel on my own, I just sometimes feel a bit low. um you may as well do something you enjoy anyway, because you're feeling low anyway, and there's probably not much going to change that, so you may as well do something you enjoy. um I wish we had a summer. I don't think that helps. I definitely get sort of like seasonal, I think it's called SAD, like seasonal depression or whatever. And in this country, I'm in the UK, and in this country, um, basically, I would say the last on a hot day, was last June because I got a picture in my garden where I'm totally sunburnt. And then about the end of June, I also got sunburnt. Like I picked up a bit of colour on me. It's fading now, but and so like honestly, we've had 3 to 5 hot days, sunny days in a year, and that it is difficult. Like I do feel like that is why everyone is in quite a low mood in the UK. Like everything else is rubbish in the UK. Like these days, you don't need me to tell you. But the weather really doesn't help, and it is uninspiring. Like when people like go for a walk or they go for a run, I'm taking like a raincoat. I'm wearing shorts. I'm also wearing like something to stop me sweating, but also I need to be warm in case it's cut. Like you have no idea what it's going to do, and it just makes plans hard. It makes everything awkward. It's just not very fun. Um, in terms of like internet stuff, there's a new Path of Exile League going to be coming out soon, and I didn't really play the last one at all because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like what they'd done to the game, and wasn't really sure whether I was gonna play another league. I felt like I'd had my fill. A bit like after I'd played all the Gears of Wars and I just quit Gears and I didn't play until Gears 5. I had like an 8 to 10 year period where I didn't play. I just felt totally burnt out with the game and I felt like I'd done everything. Yeah, you do the campaign, do some early maps, get some gear, and then there's like these tier 17 maps, and the way the whole game work changed, and there was nothing new to excite me. And I still kind of feel like that, to be honest. I'm not even sure I'll play that. I downloaded Game Pass. I played Ultimate Edition. I enjoyed that for a bit. My Game Pass trial has run out now. I played a bit of FIFA, a few games of FIFA. That was okay. But I'm not a big FIFA fan because it's not really football. You play FIFA, you don't play football. Um, I don't know. I've been in a bit of a strange one this month, I suppose, because I've been setting some boundaries and stuff, yeah. And I've basically been stopping myself talking to a lot of people. What I mean by that is, for my entire life, I've always been like very, very nice, understanding, bend over backwards. And if someone annoys me, I've always just thought, well, it's probably me taking offense, or I won't raise the issue because I don't want to come across as that loud, shouty bloke, or, you with a girl, she's worried or something, and you're like, well, I won't snap. I don't want to be that guy that snaps. I want a nice relationship. I'll show her I'm kind and good and all that stuff. And now I've like reached a point where I just not say what I want because I'm not one of those people that just say, oh, I'm blunt. Like I say it with a bit of tact, but I do stand up for myself now. And there's 3 or 4 people in my life that I've spoke to for a long time, and I stood up for myself and basically said, "Hey, listen, like I don't know how to word it, but when you realize that you've been disrespected, it takes quite a while to realize you've been disrespected because your whole life you've just considered that normal. And now that I've picked up on sort of what disrespect is, it's kind of like I'll give you a silly example. There was one girl would constantly pick me up and put me down whenever she wanted to talk to me, right? And I'm fine. I was fine with that. Hey, it's someone new in my life. I'll talk to them. But then I began to like realize actually this person like doesn't actually want to talk to me or respect me because they wouldn't be doing that and blah 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 blah. Then I noticed she wanted to ask about my new dog because I got a new dog. Wanted all this information, pictures, would have a back and forth conversation. And then I tried to discuss me or her and have a normal conversation, just went dead, didn't respond for ages. Then picked the conversation up a few weeks later of like just wanting more information out of me, wanting help, all this stuff. Completely disregarding the fact she blanked my last messages and blah blah blah. Let it slide. And then the next time I said, hey, listen, I don't appreciate you know, the way this is, like, this is not good communication, yada yada. I said it in a nice way. I said, so I'm not just going to immediately pick up the phone next time and, help you when you've had a bad dream or help you when you're upset, because it feels like you don't even want to talk to me. So, you basically go tell one of your girlfriends, go tell one of your friends next time, because I'm not interested, frankly, unless things change. Never spoke to me again. And there's been quite a few people I've spoke to for many, many years that when you ask them for like bare minimum level of respect, they get really upset at your reaction. They try to blame your reaction, which is what my ex did. And now that I'm very aware of that, um, I try to call it out when I see it, because you find out where you stand. And these people have just left. So this month, I've been a little bit low, because I've been thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I've messed up there. I've ended that friendship when there was no need to end it. But in reality, there was. This person wasn't respecting me. It was making me feel rubbish. And if they were bothered or cared, they would solve it like I would. Like if they came to me and said, "Hey, this is making me feel a bit rubbish," I'd try solve that. But these people are just self-centered. I mean, I give you an example. Yeah, I was talking to this person, this new girl, and uh, constant little micro arguments when she would be low key awful, and I would call it out, and then she'd have a go at me for my reaction. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have this reaction if you weren't doing these things. And these things that you're doing are actually poor behavior, to be honest. So I'm not going to put up with them. We had a pretty back and forth conversation. I removed her, didn't want to speak to her, stood my ground. Then she came back and apologized and yada yada. And then she started again wanting help, wanting advice, assistance. Still no apology, still nothing. And I'm like, you don't even get it. Like, you're just wanting my help, my views, my opinion, my attention, but you're not actually giving me the respect. So why should I waste my time? You know. So I've been kind of like, I hate the phrase "standing on business." I think it's very cringe, but I've been standing up for my own feelings a bit more, and as a result, I've lost quite a few friends. But when I think about it logically, they weren't really friends anyway. They were just people that wanted to get something out of me, and it was a very one-way friendship. Um, so this month's been a bit of a strange one. I will say though, I know this sounds daft, but my body seems to be recovering a little bit from all the stresses and strains of COVID and everything that happened with the relationship and everything that happened after that. Um, like physically, my resting heart rate was like 79 for like 5 months, which doesn't sound a lot, but now it's like, I think it's like 64. And so, like 15 BPM is quite a massive difference in terms of resting. And I feel like I'm waking up slightly less tired. And I feel like during the day I'm feeling a bit better. I feel like I've got a little bit more energy because I've really struggled with that. And I think the stress of everything. I, I know stress, they say, is like the number one killer, but I've never felt more stressed in my life. I literally got to a point where I imploded. I totally imploded. I, literally collapsing, going into A&E, having bloody, things put on you to check your rhythm, and all this stuff was going on. And I just totally imploded. And I went to like level 0, and I've had to build myself back up. And I'm still trying. Nowhere near where I want to be, but still trying. And it's been very, very difficult. Um, So I don't know. Like sometimes I put on a brave face, I'll do the YouTube videos, I'll have a good laugh. But I like these videos just to be honest with you, so you get to see the real side. Um I don't know, really. Sometimes I feel a bit daft doing these videos because I don't know who they're going out to, who's listening, who cares. Maybe people are judging me, laughing at me, thinking I'm pathetic. But at the end of the day, like, I think it's better to be honest and open and real than just some internet douche, you know? Um, so I don't know what the future holds. I am not thinking about it. I'm just trying to rebuild myself up to some level of normality because it has been an absolute whirlwind. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm recording this before the Euros, the final, so I hope we can win that. If you want to follow me on TikTok, where I do some videos and open up and do some live streams, you can do GGZ Social or the Twitch stream or YouTube or whatever. Appreciate it. I think that's all I've got to say. Bit of a ramble. Hope you're all doing well, winning your own battles. One thing I will say, guys, as a last piece of advice, is recover in your own way, bro, and don't let anybody judge you for the way you recover. Maybe you need to sleep a lot. Maybe you need to eat a lot. Maybe you need to be outside a lot. Maybe you want to lock yourself away a lot. Maybe you need to socialize or whatever, right? Maybe you want to just turn off social media and hermit until you feel okay. You know, whatever it is, bro, you know, everyone is different. We've all gone through different things and we all recover in our own way. And if people want to understand that, those are the people you want, you know, that go, oh, I understand that. Let me try work around it. Let me try help you. Those are the ones that you want. The people that put you down, belittle you, don't understand it, or pretend that they understand but low key judge it. I've had that. I've had that before. You know, she would like say she understood, but also kind of poke jibes at it. I would understand how she recovered. I'd give lots of space, but it wasn't reciprocated. It wasn't appreciated. It was just expected. So you know, I've been trying to get rid of expectant people. To be honest, like if you just expect something of me for nothing in return, not that I'm doing it for something in return, but it's always nice to be appreciated once in a while. And if you've got somebody just wearing you down, you're like an orange, and they're just squeezing all that juice out of you, so to speak, metaphorical juice, and then you tell them, yo, that's enough. I've been totally squeezed dry here. I might need to recover, or you might have to give a little bit back. If they then freak out and say, well, this is how I recover, that's probably not a good balance, if that makes sense, because that's what that person did to me. I was expected to just keep bending over, keep giving, keep helping, keep understanding, doing everything. And then if I asked for a little bit back, it was just met with like, nah, bro, like I'm doing me. And so there's a balance of, yeah, you have to recover in your own way. Yeah, you have to let someone recover in their own way. You know, if they want a load of space, you have to give it them. But also, don't let it become disrespectful. Like if they're giving space and if you're giving them a load of space and they're just totally ignoring you, they're not saying, "Hey, I really appreciate this. Thanks for the space. This is really helping me clear my mind. I very much appreciate it." If they're just expecting it, you know, and then they're just expecting to pick up where we left off and all of that stuff, like it's a very, very thin line because I'm an advocate of, hey, if you want to recover and have space, then you know you do that. You know, I will let you have that space, but that doesn't mean to do it in such a disrespectful way. You know, there is a way to do it, and you'll find some people they might say to you, "Hey, I'm having a really really bad week. Apologies, I can't. I just can't react to any messages, give me a bit of space, and then they'll come back and say, "Hey, I really appreciate you giving me that time. Sorry I was away. Let's crack back on." And then they might do a little bit more effort to show like that they appreciated it, whereas some will just like disappear and then come back and just crack on like nothing happened. Like you were just meant to give that space and piss off, if you know what I mean. And I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but there's a fine line and some people cross it and you've got to look out for that. Well, I think I've rambled enough now and bored you. I don't know, guys. I don't know at all, guys, what I'm even talking about. It is a it is just a, it is just a interesting topic though. I do find it interesting because obviously, you know, if you're mega stressed and you ask your partner, "Hey, I really need some space," and that partner gives it you, that's great. But if you just do it, but if you just take that space, lock yourself away for 3 months, and then come back without communicating, expressing, chatting, and you know, um, explaining that that was very helpful, and then they just come back and be like, "Yo, I'm fixed now. Let's crack on." That can be a bit rude and disrespectful, but on the flip side, maybe that is what they need to heal. And if you like them, you should put up with it. And sometimes I wonder, oh, should I have been more caring? But I think what some people need to do is they need to say, hey, I'm gonna need a lot of space because of X, Y, Z. I understand this is really difficult for you, and I really, really appreciate it. Let's reconvene on a certain date, or let's keep in touch during it, but it's not you, blah, blah, blah. I think if you're going to really push some away, you need to be quite communicative, you know. Otherwise, it just becomes ghosting. And I think like ghosting is like the rudest thing ever. I don't know about you, but we all know everyone's connected to our phones. And just because you're on your phone doesn't mean I have to give you my attention. I understand that. But the way the world is now, to be honest, you do have to um kind of explain. I think if you want to be a nice person anyway. I have some people that message me and I'll just say to them, "Hey, I'm fried today, bro. Like I'm just not answering anything, I'll catch you back up, you know, in a few days or whatever." But if you're just ghosting everyone, I think it's a bit rude, isn't it, really? I don't know about you. I do understand the argument, like, just because I'm online doesn't mean I need a response, but I think I think depending on the relationship you have with the person, that's the main thing. Like, you know, yeah, if it's some random person, they don't owe you anything. But if you're building a relationship, you have to communicate. That's part of the deal, isn't it? Starting to bring out the sun now. I don't know. There's just been a lot of thoughts whirling around my head. I don't know. I didn't think I'd be learning much at the age of 30, but I feel like this year has been a big learning year. So, I guess I'm just decompressing all that information.